All right. Welcome in. There you go. Whoa.
Gotta get the setup right.
There we go. Welcome into the half. I feel like it's been way too long because of all the craziness and
Right.
things happening, but great to be here. My name is Erich Montgomery. You can find me at oursuccessgroup.com. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Batman himself, Erich Campbell, erichcampbell.com. So, Erich, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Doing all right. It's been a busy week for sure. I know a lot of people have been having a busy time getting back from shows because we were back from DAX just this week. So this week has been a lot of stuff going on after that. But, good to have everybody on. And we had a great show just now. We just got done with Two Regular Guys with Andrea Bomarito from ZSK Machines. And that was an awesome show about developing embroidery techniques. I really enjoyed it. So
Yep. It was great. And always
can't
fun
hate
to talk.
that.
Yep. It was great. Always fun to talk to Andrea for sure. And like Erich said, you can't beat that. And I can't wait to go have lunch with her. For whatever reason, I am stuck on thinking about Sugar Fire now, Erich. So
yeah, I think barbecue has
life.
invaded your brain, my friend.
It has. All right. Well, Justin, counting down for us. Appreciate that, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
In fact, I was running in late, and Erich, as usual, making me look better than I am. All right, Justin, good morning. Good morning to you. Lisa, thanks for being here.
Yeah, Lisa Shaw doing awesome stuff. By the way, also Applique Getaway coming up with Aaron and Lisa, going to be in evidence, as well as Christian Shreve. Lots of cool people teaching. So,
yep, exactly.
Check that out coming up.
Definitely going to be fun. In fact, I got something to share about that here that's actually happening. I don't know if it's. I gotta have to look at my calendar real quick and see. Hopefully, it's not interfering with the take up. But what time is the take up?
2:30 Mountain Time. So
2:30 Mountain Time. So that's 3:30 here, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Nope. We're good. Not interfering with the take up. All right. So I will announce it. Gusta checking in.
Even if it did. Yep. Hello. Yes.
Yep. There we go. And Jerry. Hello. Ramona, so good to see you again. Yes, and
yep.
This is Adam. So I'm not sure I've met Adam.
Yes, Jeff's son, who is doing cool stuff, making his own line of hats that are really cool and has his own logo and an awesome concept. It's gi hats from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they're really awesome. So made of gi material, very cool. And by the way, the stuff you're putting out, videos you're putting out, doing a good job, man. So
yep, yeah,
very cool.
Awesome. Cool. I'm looking forward to meeting Adam as well. So had an opportunity to, on video, meet Jeff and Justin, but have not met Adam yet. So that's very awesome. Cool. Hello, Sandy. And Sandy said, yes, it was a great show for sure. Awesome. Glad you got something out of it. And someone is impersonating an owl in here. Not sure I follow that one, but
you must have stammered on a who, I'm guessing.
must have been. Yeah, something like that. All right. So, Jarita, hello. Having a great day. I love it. And then
did some awesome sampling this morning. I just got to see some of her really great embroidery work. So always good to see Jarita.
Cool. And Lori, good day.
Yes.
And Michael, hello. Hey, Michael. We missed your comment. Not missed it. I saw it. We didn't have time to get to it. Your question about the surf industry over in Two Regular Guys. So pop that in here, and let's. I want to get Erich's take on that. I just saw Adam. I just almost said I want to get Adam's take on it, but I want to get Erich's take on that too, Michael. So Ramona says Adam is so awesome. He's great. Awesome. Good.
Yep. Love to see the next generation coming up.
Yep. And then Michael says we just added 48 heads of embroidery, so I will be in embroidery. I'm assuming that's about what that means. So, and I had a conversation with Erich and Todd about heads and colors, and see, I learned something at DAX.
We had to have a discussion about how the multi-head machine setup goes, but I mean that's something we all know. But yeah, it's 48 heads is nothing to sneeze at, my friend. So Michael, man, you are making the junction happen. About surfwear, I'm going to tell you honestly, I haven't seen a lot of it myself, but I'm not in any location which would require that. My local business in very landlocked Albuquerque, New Mexico, did just about zero surfwear. But I have had the opportunity, if you want to call it that opportunity, to embroider a whole lot of neoprene and other waterproof materials. And it's not exactly the most fun thing you can do with your machine. Yeah. So I would love to have somebody who get into who will get into that with you. If there's more people out there who have done more surfwear, wetsuits, whatever it is you do with embroidery, hey, let's connect each other. Let's get in touch with Michael. But that's what he's saying. He's going to be an embroidery sponge. That's what that was. It was the emoji for sponge. I'm going to say my eyes are destroyed right now. I'll just be honest with you guys. I'm wearing contacts that are not working out. So if I read something wrong, that is me. I'll be honest with you.
Those little emojis are tough. It's on t-shirts.
Yeah, it's on t-shirts. Embroidery on t-shirts. That's another thing where it really is about making sure you have a light enough design. The heavier the embroidery, the more it's going to cause distortion, especially on knits. So it's about making sure you have a nice, stable stabilizer that's still light enough that it's not causing scratching, scraping, anything like that. Light designs, and sometimes you can do things with removable stabilizers elseways, but it means you're going to need really, really light designs. I mean, your designs cannot be super, super heavy coverage if you're going to be running those on t-shirt for sure.
Sorry, okay. I've just got another comment. I'm totally squirrel here this morning. The shiny object syndrome is getting me good today. So Jeff says, thanks. I learned a lot from the chief taco officer. Awesome.
Yeah, Jay Bassell.
Jay Bassell sitting in on two regular guys. He's a fantastic gentleman that appreciate him sitting in but not taking over. So we got the board back from Terry and Jay, Eric. So that feels good.
I thought they were just going to take off and do their own show. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
we may be
getting a text from Terry saying, "Hey, by the way, guys, I've got this new thing that I'm doing." So
the second half.
The second half. There you go. I like
Jay
it.
Terry, come on.
Jay and Terry, the second half.
Come on right after this.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. All right. So Frank,
good afternoon.
Afternoon again. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Frank is the one in the UK, not Tom.
And by the way, who is an awesome member of the community who always shares stuff and gets people good information. So thank you, Frank.
Yep, definitely. All right. So Joanne, good to see you again. Thanks for being in there with Andrea and Eric.
And with good questions. Thank you.
Really great questions for sure.
People jump in.
Yep. And then I blew the joke, Todd. I'm sorry. You know that about me, though. That's what I do. I ruin jokes.
I usually try and do it on purpose to foil your plans.
I don't. I just am slow on the uptake sometimes. There's certain things that, man, I am super into and passionate about. And you can't get me to stop. And then there's other things where I just kind of go, what was I thinking? I don't even know what was going through my brain there. But that's okay. It is who I am.
That can happen.
All right. So they want their logo on shirts. They're having a problem with art.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the art. Don't know exactly what that is, but what I will say is t-shirts and embroidery are not always super friendly together because t-shirts are super light. Now, can you do embroidery on t-shirts? Absolutely. Tons of people do. A lot of the stuff I've seen when you're talking about like commercial application stuff that's in the retail stores, they're sometimes doing things that require washing, that require other processes that are not real common to like commercial embroidery because it changes the finish of the garments. But certainly it is something you can do. I would say small details are always a problem. Little vertical lines whenever you're on a ribbed vertical knit that's going to have any sort of like drop in. Sometimes you get sawtooth edging on things where the stitches run vertically and fall into the texture. So you may have to use things like water soluble toppings. There's a lot to learn on t-shirts, but the biggest thing is to say, hey, let's not fill it with as much stitches as possible, as much detail as possible in really small areas. Otherwise, you end up with all that distortion and difficulty. So it is a specialty kind of thing. Definitely, whoever's doing your digitizing, you have to talk to them and say it's going on t-shirts and be very clear about that. Because jersey knit material is a different animal than polo shirts or work shirts, polyester twills, all the really heavy stuff that holds up.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. So not what I saw at that resort in Mexico where they slapped a bunch of backing and didn't trim it. And
they had like four pieces of medium cutaway in the back of that polo shirt. And it's like, by the time I'm running through 4 pieces of medium cutaway, it'll hold up to anything. It's bomb proof, but it also feels like you're wearing, a piece of cardboard inside of your shirt.
I was going to say, it's just scratching the heck out of you. I was like, nah, I'm out.
No, not so much. Not my favorite.
Sure. No. You're welcome, Frank. Thanks for being here. And Michael says, yes, it's challenging to educate the customers.
On the nose, yeah. Sometimes it really is where the customer comes in. They want this crazy embroidered piece. The other thing you can do with this, though, great opportunity to talk about doing some sort of like perfect cut emblem is another thing to do, and heat seal that onto the shirt so that it's not going through the shirt. A lot of stuff we're seeing in the retail space. I know I've seen things from like Lion Brands on behalf of like Champion. You saw that Champion went from what we all remember as like Walmart special shirts to the incredibly high-end streetwear shirts that we turned into. Well, a lot of that stuff is being done. They're embroidering ahead of time and making these heat applied embroideries that then don't go through the garment. A lot of that stuff's happening right now. So it may be worthwhile to check in with either with vendors or to do, I mean, some of it you'll want to do yourself. And I know you just added 48 heads of embroidery, so me telling you to outsource probably sounds pretty rough right now. But some of that stuff, it makes sense to like outsource to an emblem company, have them do a perfect applied material solution and go ahead and, press that on there so we aren't running through the shirt. So it's one of those things to do.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. What else we got here? Joanne says, been embroidering and teaching embroidery with home market machines for about 30 years. Always more to learn. Your show is new to me, but it's great. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you found us and got good information out of it. That's what we're here to do, right? That's what we've spent 9 years doing on Two Regular Guys, and hopefully that's paying off at this point. All right.
Yep.
Let's see here. Michael says, but AS Colors has a nice shirt. So
yeah, I would agree. That and also the heavier weight shirts will hold up to some things that the lighter ones won't. If you had like back in the day, we were doing burnout tissue tees where they're absolutely see-through. And we had multiple companies who wanted to do heavy, normal corporate logo work on those. That's not great. But yeah, a nicer shirt certainly holds up to more. A heavier weight shirt holds up to some more.
Yeah.
But it's still stretchy. Still have to deal with the stretch. Still have to deal with stabilizing it.
There you go. All right. So Adam's got a question here. What's the best way to extend my audience on social media? Justin already answered it, so we don't need to answer it. I do everything opposite of your dad. No. Adam. So I'll give my take, and Eric, I know you've got a take too here. So I'll try to be brief. The first thing that I would do to make sure that you're extending your reach on social media is to understand exactly who your audience is and what problem you're going to solve for them. And then once you can pinpoint that as close as you can, and you may have to test and kind of figure it out and ask people and talk to them. So this is not an overnight, there's no magic bullet to this. So that's the first thing I do is just figure out who my audience is, figure out what the problem is that I can solve for them. And then the next thing to do is to just be in the conversations about those things. Yes. And just show up and be persistent. If anything else that I've learned from my time doing the Two Regular Guys, I will be the first to admit it's not always been great. We mess up. It's kind of actually part of our charm. We're really lucky that we've surrounded ourselves with people like Eric who help us make it better all the time. But I mean, I cringe when people say, "Oh yeah, I just found your podcast and I'm going back to the early years." I'm like, please don't. But at the same time, we showed up every Friday, and we've shown up every Friday for almost 9 years now. So I think today was 410 was the episode number 410. And so the same thing, so I'm not just saying do a podcast. I'm saying in general, if you're on social media and then, you send 15 posts all in the span of like 2 days and then are gone for 3 weeks, that's going to be, people are like, okay, I'm out. You're bombarding me and then you're not. So just be consistent, schedule your posts, be out there, post. There we go. That's my, as quick as I could do it, take, Eric.
All right. I'll add a couple things.
Okay.
Definitely want to think about who your audience is. It's really easy to be bringing out a message that's for you. Yep. It's hard not to do that when you think of yourself as the audience. What do I want to say? But it's more like, what do they need to hear to make the decision to want to be with you? Now, what I'm going to say is, because I've seen some of your content already, you're doing things that are interesting. You're letting people in, you're letting people know why you're doing what you're doing. You're showing them what's different about your product than other people, and that's all great. But add to it that consistency. Come out with consistent content that's interesting to them. And Aaron is absolutely right. Part of what I did early on that established me in social media, and I'll say I'm not as good as it now as I used to be, is showing up in conversations and answering questions for people and just being present so that I became part of those conversations. And it was expected that I was someone to look at. I became a subject matter expert. And that was one of the things you do. Show up in those audiences that you think would be receptive to your product and just be there, and then share consistently. And honestly, you're doing a lot of the great things that you already need to do. So that's good. You're starting off better than most businesses start off, because you're actually showing people what you're into and what you're about, and humanizing your posts. But definitely consistency is key. And like I said, think about what your audience needs to hear to make the decision to want to support you, to want to support your business, to want to use your products.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. All right. Let me hit a couple and we'll come back to Michael's here real quick.
Sure.
So Lisa says agreeing on showing up and being persistent. Your audience will appreciate it.
And Lisa is key with this. She does very well doing this with her after hours, and she is also on brand. She's got her brand together, and definitely everybody loves her voice, and it's her authentic voice. So that's really important too.
Yeah, it is. And she's just fun too. Don't take yourself too seriously. Have a little fun.
Why not?
Lisa's super smart, has tons to share, great information, got the whole package, but she's fun too, right? Let's have a drink and let's have some fun. And
why not?
There's something to be said about that as well. So let's see here. Todd says, do a podcast at 11 a.m. Central Time on Fridays. It's what all the cool kids are doing. No, Todd, Fridays are taken. Go figure out something on Monday or Tuesday. No, not Tuesday. Well, as long as it's not Tuesday at 5 p.m. when there's Tuesdays with Todd. So Mondays are wide open though, guys.
Hey, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, not every stream of media is for everybody. Not podcasting is not always the answer. Might just be awesome pictures of your stuff, but you put them out regularly on Instagram like clockwork, or TikToks, whatever place your audience is. If you see your audience consuming other stuff in an area, like let's say everybody is doing competition photos and stuff all in some area, go be there. Go be where people are that use your product, and just be consistent on getting things out. And I fully agree with Lisa on this one. Think of this as a long cross-country run, not a sprint.
Yep.
Running it all out at once won't help you, even though I'm one of those people who does those big Herculean efforts of one big push. The truth of the matter is, when it comes to social media, especially in marketing, it is the touches. It takes 7 to 10 times for someone to have heard about you or seen your stuff for them to remember you and take any kind of action, even to the point of remarking on it or thinking about it.
Yeah.
7 to 10 times. So you just need to keep coming and showing up. Doesn't always have to be the same time, but just consistently.
Yep.
Consistently showing up, and it'll be like when you buy a car and then you suddenly see that car is everywhere, as if they were suddenly appeared from everywhere. Once it's in your mind often enough and it's something that you identify with, then you start to see it, then you start to think about it. And like I said, 7 to 10 touches is the classic way to think about it in marketing.
Like it. Perfect. All right, Adam, great question. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Michael, we just want to share this. Thanks for, so he said this was a pivot where we had a company suffering and we're selling one machine, and we bought it all and got 2 employees, and this is a win-win.
Yep.
We actually paid a little more to establish long-term successful relationship. In California, the employees are critically important.
Boy, everywhere these days, the employees are critically important. And especially when you're talking about embroidery, everybody thinks you're going to just throw somebody on a machine. If you've got skilled operators who are good at it, hang on to those skilled operators. It makes a difference to your quality for sure.
So that's a little scary to say that you can't just throw somebody on a machine. I feel like that's what's going to be happening to me here coming up on Friday.
You can, but I'm also not going to put you in commercial production and say, hey, here's a range of 50
me for production, but for a fun opportunity to have some fun at a fantastic event, then it's okay.
Hey, all the love, man, but you got to prove out. Get on that machine, start running, my friend.
All right.
I'm going to hand you 5 different kinds of garments, and have you do that.
I'm looking forward to the post event critique. So that'll be good. So speaking of that, I mentioned that I had something to share. So at I just wanted to check my calendar at 1:00 Central Time.
All right.
That would be noon your time, Eric. There. So,
okay.
Okay. All right.
Noon my time. Noon Mountain time.
If you're on the East Coast, that would be 2:00. If you're on the West Coast, that would be 11:00 a.m. There we go. I think I got everybody covered.
Right.
I will be joining Christine Shreve.
Which day? Let's get the date as well as the time.
Oh, today.
Okay,
Sorry.
All right.
Today. She's doing a little segment. And sometimes they're recorded, but we're actually going to do it live, called Vendor Voices. So for the Applique Getaway, I don't have the exact link yet. It's probably out there, and I just haven't seen it yet. But I imagine just search Applique Getaway on Facebook, and you can experience me and Christine we did a 30-minute show one time, Christine and I, that turned into 2.5 hours. So I'm hoping it's not going to go that long. I did block out a full hour on my calendar, so we'll see how this goes. But Vendor Voices with Christine Shreve, I will be the guest at 1:00 Central Time today. And just search for Applique Getaway on Facebook, and you should be able to find us. I imagine she's probably got a YouTube channel over there as well. So Eric, I think, is probably looking for me right now.
I am. What I'm going to do is give you guys the Facebook link because it's right at the top.
There you go.
Facebook.com/Applique Getaway, just like you might imagine. But yeah, it is right up at the top there if you need it. And there is a link. There is a reminder. Something I'm going to say to everybody, including this show, folks, if you have any of these links on Facebook that have a get reminder time, that's in your time zone. You don't have to ask. Mm-hmm. Those things are in your time zone if you're logged in. So anytime you see one of these, just click get reminder if you're interested, and it'll give you a reminder in your time zone whenever it shows it is in your local zone. So everybody always asks me this every week without fail. Someone comments on one of my posts for either Two Regular Guys or my shows or any of the shows. Somebody will always say what time zone it is in. If you're on Facebook specifically, or honestly, if you're on YouTube on someone's channel, they also have a link for getting a notification. It's in your logged in time zone.
Yeah, there you go.
You shouldn't have to worry about that. Just use the actual buttons they have there, and you'll be happy for it.
There you go. Awesome. All right. So Michael said, and we have like 1,000 hoops. So
only embroiderers know how good it is to have the existing number of hoops you need and the sizes you need. Don't buy a machine without 2 sets to fill the heads of whatever size you use most. Sincerely don't, because you will want to be able to hoop up of another run while you're running the current run. A good operator can turn around on a hooping table behind them while they're back and forth with the machine, especially with modern machines having good thread break sensors, and they can hoop up their second run while one's running. It is excellent for your throughput. If you only have 1 set of hoops, you are losing like half of your daily throughput or something. I mean, not exactly, but you are really losing time.
There you go.
2 sets for all your good common sets. Come on, folks.
There you go. So Lisa shared the link to the actual video. Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate that. And you're very welcome, Adam. Work on that story.
You're doing good.
And Adam, one other quick tip for you. You said you're working on your story. Yeah, the other thing, just believe in yourself and realize that you do have a story. I know this was a challenge for me for a long time, is that I never felt like my stories were worthwhile. I came up with some of the greatest storytellers of all time, getting to hang out with Terry Combs, Jimmy Lamb. I mean, these guys can tell a story about something that's really probably not all that important or even interesting, and make you want to sit and listen for an hour and a half, So I was always like, oh man, my stories will never work. But once I started realizing, you know what, there is information in here. There is a lesson to learn. I think becoming a father certainly helped with that. But
for sure.
Back in my day, kids.
Well, and I think that's the thing too. As people do this, especially in the industry, where they're like, all right, I just started. What do I have to tell anybody? Well, those of us who've been around for a while may have gotten ourselves loose of the beginner mindset. We have kind of forgotten how it felt, and we might get something out of that. And honestly, let's say you're 3 months in, someone who's 1 day in wants to know what that 3 months is going to look like. There is no point you're at that you don't have some portion of your experience that's important or interesting. And also, a lot of people just watch stories to watch them. Embroiderers still watch embroidery machines run. I mean, stuff that you think we'd be bored with, we still watch them. People are still interested in just seeing how someone's doing. They'll watch your personal story as well as your business story. Yeah. So you're already on the way to doing it, and I can see you've got people who are definitely watching your videos. So
there you go.
People are pulling for you. You got the idea, but certainly, Aaron's right. Sometimes it feels like our voice isn't what it needs to be, but you'll find your audience through that consistency, and it's there.
It is
for sure.
And then one other thing with that, we talk about this inside of our success group all the time. Like Eric just said, wherever you're at, you have, everybody has something that they are the best at, and you just don't realize it, so the more you share, the more you're going to realize where your talents and strengths lie, for sure. So I always encourage people for whatever reason, even inside groups. I mean, Facebook groups are supposed to be, this kind of tight knit community where it, and inside our private members group, I'm challenging our members all the time to share more, talk more, get out there more. The more you share, especially in a safe place like that, then it becomes easier when you need to go and, hey, guess what? I need to share about my business to other people so I get new clients, right? Or new customers. So I think the more you can share, just take action. Do something.
How do we get
every day.
comfortable doing it? Repetition.
Yep.
Just getting out there and doing it, little bits of improvement every day will happen. I mean, you know that if you're doing martial arts, and martial artists know that because that's something you guys internalize, that practice and repetition gets you where you need to go. It's the same thing here.
There you go. Sure. All right. So Cindy says, Adam, use one of your piano songs for intro. And Ramona said that's a great idea. So awesome.
For sure. Character.
Yep. All right. Well, what other questions are out there, guys? We've got some time left.
Got a few minutes. Got a few. Yeah. I will say this. I'm going to say briefly because we got to send a newsletter, and I'm sure I'll be embarrassing, but Brian Bailey, Creative and Brilliance, and a guy who's given a lot to our embroidery industry, is having a birthday this weekend. I just say, happy birthday, Brian.
All right.
I know, don't want to make a big deal out of it. I'm sure he would love that I'm making a deal of it on his show if he's listening, but hey, man, hope you're having a good one.
Yeah.
And absolutely.
Yeah.
You deserve
20-year-old wizard, huh? I have no idea. I'm just throwing it out there. Right? Dean says, Todd even talks with himself if no one is listening. There you go.
Yep.
And Jeff says, you get better every day. Or I'm sorry, not Jeff. Adam says you get better every day, but you have to be doing the right technique. Absolutely.
Oh, true. You're listening to good folks. Like I said, Jay Bassell is awesome for helping you craft your brand and story. And he referred to Story Brand, which is a really great book as well for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
and he's got a great book. Your Style Guide.
JBassell.com. Great book from him as well. So
JBassell.com. Excellent. Thank you. All right, sure. Cindy, happy birthday, Brian. So happy birthday to him.
Like I said, I'm sure he'll be thoroughly delighted I said that on there, but oh well. Sorry, sir.
I'm waiting for to be like a message on your watch or your phone.
I saw my
Eric,
Skype just go
Brian's
off on
office.
my phone. I think I just saw Skype go off. So yeah, I'm sure that there's some stuff going on. But yeah, that's one of those things. I just had to do it because he gives a lot to the community. I think we all should. Should say thanks when we get
it. Exactly. Happy birthday, Brian. Cool. Yes. Adam says, I've been reading Story Brand. My dad got it for me. Awesome. Yeah, great book.
So your dad does some stuff right for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got you with the right.
Don't listen to what Justin's saying. No, it's okay.
Just because Justin gets in trouble.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here, Eric. We started off on a little bit of a conversation about the exhibitors showing up at the shows and stuff like that, and then supply issues and stuff like that. Anything that we left off that conversation that we want to dive into here?
I just want to say this much about the shows in general and about live shows. People are saying, hey, is it worth it? Everybody's asking, is it worth it? And I think there's a good portion of that really depends on what you put into it. And this is not me blaming people for not liking that there were less vendors. Absolutely felt the same way. Kind of was like, oh man, I wish some more folks had decided to come. I understand why they didn't come also, but the people who I saw who were there and really engaged, asking lots of questions, were getting an incredible amount of personal attention from the people at the booths. And the networking that was going on between different decorators was really awesome. And honestly, a lot of intense conversations and a lot of detail going on. So I think people who decided to come out, if you wanted to make it go, you made something worthwhile out of it.
Good.
I think that's the truth. And I don't know how you felt about it with the people coming through the booth, but I feel like that's how it was for sure.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I think our trade shows in the industry do such a great job of that, of making a community, right?
Yeah.
There's obviously lots of objectives. The exhibitors want to show up and they want to be able to sell products and find new customers and get all of that stuff going. So that's one part of it. And the attendees want to show up and they want to learn. They want the education, but they also want the good deals. But then the other piece that I think we do really well at as a community is that, like you said, that networking piece, the decorator. Yes, it may be your competitor up the street, but I think we've done a really good job in this industry of getting over that and understanding that there's something to be said about co-opetition, about being open, having an abundance mentality, understanding, there's the pie is plenty big enough. When we start worrying and feeling like the pie is too small and then we have to hoard everything or really be competitive and worrying about what the other guy's doing, I think that's when our businesses really go the wrong way. And so the other part about this whole thing that we just kind of tend to miss is at a trade show, we need to make sure that
They'll never.
There wasn't really anything following that, folks. It's okay. All right.
There's nothing and there's everything.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.